and mental health. I'm so used to just going through my tagline that I was about to go through it again, but I am on my music and mental health channel. I have a little bit of a topic here. I thought about taking some time to develop the topic more, but I didn't want to. Just various reasons for that for right now. But anyways, Ryan Clark. Some of y'all know Ryan Clark, or some of y'all um, might have heard about Ryan Clark. If you have not, he used to be an NFL player, and then he became a media personality after he retired, as many retired athletes do. But not many retired athletes have that long and sustainable of a post career as the one that he had. ESPN, as they seem to do every few years, goes through a list of people, a long list of people, and fires them for various different reasons. I'm not going to say that I have dove really deep into the business aspects of the reason for these mass layoffs, but I always compare everything that I watch, and the word I was going to say slipped out of my head. But let's just say anything I intake into my brain, I think about it in context of how I can relate to it in my life, and I've been part of many corporations' mass layoffs and things of that nature, right? So, anyways, he got laid off, or he got fired. They said that he got laid off, and they thanked him for his work, or whatever the case may be. That's what they said. And then I watched an interview on his own podcast platform where he said it was he kind of saw it coming, but it was also unexpected. He came into work that day, and then he was told that he had to call this specific higher up, and then he called that person during a break of one of his segments, and then he got given the news, and then he didn't stay and finish the rest of the segment, and that was it. He talked about how on the network, many times over the years that he was there, which I think they said was 13 years or something, he was encouraged that he can't be too much of himself. And by himself, just basically cultural aspects of himself and his personality. And he said something really hard for me to hear at the end of the podcast, where he was just like, his mom always told him, excuse me if I misquote it a little, the effects of it were he's always gonna have to do twice as much, be twice as good, be twice as smart, and something else, but he still might not be chosen. Why is there only 3 comments here? Because it's been on for 3 minutes. So therefore, the 3 comments represent the fact that I've been on for 3 minutes and people are just getting here. Or it could just be that people like looking and not commenting, which in that case, what's that got to do with me? All that matters is that there was 38 people, 40 people actually, on this live. So anyways, I know that feeling. I didn't know that feeling growing up because, in my life, I grew up in Canada, and there are certain aspects and things that I didn't have to experience because school is not the real world. Now, some microcosm things happened in school that I did not realize were a representation of the real world. Um, however, yeah, I didn't realize those things were a microcosm of the real world. However, now I do. Now I do as an adult. Now, as an adult, I'm 38. I started in the workforce when I was 18. I don't count that so much because I was working for my school. I worked in the school cafeteria. But my first like real job in the workforce was I was like 21, 22. I was like 22 years old, post college and everything. And at that point in time, I felt like you work hard and you do what you're supposed to do, and that automatically translates to receiving raises and promotions and everything. Because at the time, I'm a new employee, and all I have at that point as a new employee is just all the values that are instilled in me by my family, which was basically, listen, I have, so there's some appreciation to my family for wanting me not to be jaded, I guess, about the real world. But I also think that there's benefits to being a little bit realistic with your kids, you know, because then they come out of the bubble, school bubble or whatever, and they know what to expect. And my expectation was, hey, you know, if I do my job well, if I show up to work on time, if I'm consistent, if I am innovative, if I am producing things that help the company grow, they're automatically, after every certain amount of time that goes by, going to look at those things and say, you know what, this person deserves to move up. Let's offer him a raise and or a promotion. And as time went by, I was getting raised in compliments. Hey, Mark, you're the best. You do such a wonderful job at this and this. Wow, I'm so glad I have you here. I'm so glad I can count on you. Then I would see people who just start and are vaulting up above me. Or I would see people that are moving up, and I wasn't moving up. So I said, maybe I need to just ask, hey, I've been at the company for X amount of time. I put in my work. I think I do a good job. Can I have a raise? And the answer was never no, but the answer was like, I agree, you do a good job. Yes, you have been producing well, such and such. So do the same things that you're doing now for the next 6 months, and then, you know, we'll revisit the conversation. Again, I'm young and new, so I'm like, all right, I guess that's how it goes. You know, I'm new, so I'll just continue working hard for 6 more months and then have the conversation again. Then 6 months comes, nobody even remembers telling me another 6 months. I have to remind them because I'm looking at the calendar. I think I remember even putting it on my Outlook calendar. 6 months. Yeah, 6 months has gone by, so why is nobody reaching out to me? Naive. I know I was naive at that time. Um, and then the 6 months, and then I'm like, okay, can we schedule this conversation? Sure. And I remember being told, essentially, we don't have the money. Bro, the reason I'm laughing at this so hard is because I've been a part of companies in the last 15 years of my work history where the companies are down millions of dollars and still find money. Finding money, like, it's like the United States running out of money. When they get low on money, they print more money. When a company is low on money or even in a deficit, like they're down millions of dollars, they can still find money. So we don't have the money, it's just essentially like we don't think you're worth the money or we don't want to pay you the money. Like that's probably all one and the same. You're not worth the money, we don't want to pay you the money, whatever you want to say. And that was that. So anyways, I guess to cut this short, because I'm not going to make these videos too long at this point. Where I am is that I know the feeling of jumping twice as high and running twice as fast and doing twice as much and still not being chosen. That's the words that Ryan Clark used. But something that I learned over the years is like, don't wait to be chosen. Actually, my mom said that to me. Not necessarily in the same context that I'm saying it, but she said, don't wait to be discovered. And I would alter what she said slightly because people tend to feel like if if you're not being noticed or publicly noticed or acknowledged, that people are not aware of your talent or your skills or your values. And something that I learned is sometimes it's about your lack of awareness of that. If you are not aware of those things and they know that, they are going to now take advantage of you because it's like, what better thing to have than somebody who doesn't know their worth, because then you can tell them that they're not worth it. So don't wait to be chosen. Recognize your own value and only find yourself in places where um, other people do the same. Now, granted, I feel like maybe one job in the last 16, 17 years that I've been in has ever really recognized me in that sense. Um, but I don't go there hoping for that, waiting for that, and expecting that. I know that that's just not, it's just a rare thing to happen in a company, and I know that I'm just there to get paid. And, if it reaches a point where I'm done or the pay isn't enough and I can't move up anymore, I'm just going to leave. So know your worth before you go into any scenario. Keep that worth with you all throughout and take it with you wherever you go, because there's no company that makes or breaks that. And that's my message for today. Take care, everyone. Like and subscribe and comment and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank you all.